Hi everyone, welcome to your first flipped video of the year. Today we're going to review slope and midpoint. So what exactly is slope? That's the ratio of the vertical change to the horizontal change between 2 points. Remember, we always said it was rise over run. How far we go up and down, how far we go left and right. So then your slope formula, if you have 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, to find the slope, you always do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And one way that we like to remember this is we call it the yum-yum table. When you go on a picnic, you build your picnic table. So your x's are on the bottom, and then what goes up top? Your yummy food. So that's just an easy way to help you remember that y's always go on top, x's always go on the bottom. Don't forget that there's 4 types of slope. You have a positive slope where your line rises, a negative slope where your line falls. We have our zero slope for a horizontal line, and we have our undefined slope for a vertical line. So let's try and do some slope problems. It says find the slope between each pair of points. -3, 7 and -2, 4. Let's do this one first. If we recall, our slope formula was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So label your points. This is the first point, this is the second point. A point is always xy. So x1, y1, x2, y2. And we plug those numbers into our formula. 4 minus 7 over -2 minus -3. 4 minus 7 is -3. -2 minus a negative, make sure we make that a plus. So -2 plus 3 is 1, which means our slope of these 2 points is -3. If we come over here to part B, 3, 1 and -4, 1. x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Well, 1 minus 1 is 0. -4 minus 3 is -7. And anytime we have 0 on top of a fraction, 0 divided by -7 is just 0. So this is the slope of a horizontal line. All right, so our last one, 7, -3, and 7, 1. x1, y1, x2, y2. Plugging in our points, 1 minus -3 over x2 minus x1. Again, don't forget, 2 negatives here become a positive, so this becomes 1 plus 3 is 4. 7 minus 7 is 0. And anytime you have 0 on the bottom, you cannot take something and divide it into 0. So your slope is undefined. And what kind of line is undefined? A vertical line. Okay, on to slope of a line. So anytime I give you a line and I ask you to find the slope, remember we said it was rise over run. So you could do this 2 different ways. You can come from point to point and just draw in your triangle, no matter where you start. How much do you rise? How much do you run over? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 running. So rise over run is 8 over 12 because we went +8 and +12. 8 over 12, if you reduce it and you divide them both by 4, my slope is 2 over 3. So even though you don't see all the points, if you went up to over 3, you could draw a point in. Up to over 3 could get you another point. All right, on B, drawing your triangle, no matter where you draw it in, you could go this way, you could go this way. If I start at the top and I go down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So since I went down, I went -8. And then I went to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So +4. So -8 over +4 reduces to -2 over 1 is my slope. Now, if you don't like counting from a graph, you can always feel free to use your slope formula. If you name your points, like this is the point, 1, -1. This is the point, -3, 7. You could always take -3, 7, and 1, -1 and plug it into the slope formula. Okay? All right, midpoint. If we review midpoint, oh, that's right, here we go. Midpoint is just the halfway point of a line segment. So if you have a line, where's the middle of it? To find the midpoint, if you have 2 points again, because you have an end point here, and you have an end point here, and I want the halfway point, all you have to do is take your x's and add them together and cut them in half, and then take your y's, add them together and cut them in half. Okay, this is your midpoint formula. So each x, add them together, divide them by 2. Each y, add them together and divide them by 2. So find the midpoint between each pair of points. We just said the midpoint formula was to add the x's together and divide by 2. Add the y's together and divide by 2. So if I label my points x1, y1, x2, y2, -3 plus -2 divided by 2, 7 plus 4 divided by 2. Well, -3 plus -2 is -5 over 2. 7 plus 4 is 11 over 2. Now you can leave that your answer, or if you wanted to change them into decimals, feel free to do so too. It might be easier to make them decimals for your graph. For B, before you do problem B, right here above the problem, I want you to write down that Mrs. Carson's favorite food is chicken pot pie. Okay, so to find the midpoint of 3, 1 and -4, 1, we label our points x1, y1, x2, y2, and then we take 3 plus -4 divided by 2, 1 plus 1 divided by 2. So 3 plus -4 is -1 over 2. 1 plus 1 is 2, but 2 divided by 2 is 1. So the midpoint of B is -1/2, 1. All right, last one for C. x1, y1, x2, y2. To find the midpoint, we add up the x's. So 7 plus 7 divided by 2. We add up the y's. -3 plus 1 divided by 2. 7 plus 7 is 14. And 14 divided by 2 is 7. -3 plus 1 is -2. Divided by 2 is -1. So our midpoint is 7, -1 on a graph. I hope this wasn't too much trouble for you to get through slope and midpoint. This should have all been a review from Algebra 1 and Geometry. Make sure you have your secret answer above B, and I will see you in class tomorrow. Bye, guys.